She's in the back of the room. She's not benefited.
What, Mom?
There's some cookies that we're gonna pass out too.
Cookies. 5,000 cookies.
Okay, we are now going to invite our speaker for the event, Chuck Bowen from the Lexington Enhanced 911 program. I think we've had Deborah Nantz talk to us about this in the past, but we thought it would be a really nice time to refresh your memories about it. And a lot of you can then sign up for this program if you're interested. We're going to have some internet access, and if you want help to sign up for the 911 program, that's going to take place after his talk. It's going to be kind of a short talk. Then we're going to do food distribution at the very end. So if you registered for food distribution, we have a bag for you. All right, here's Chuck.
Thank you all for having me to present some information about 911. Again, my name is Chuck Bowen. I work for Lexington 911. I've been with Lexington 911 going on 13 years. Prior to that, I have some other medical and corporate administrator experience as well. And even before that, I began with volunteer fire and EMS in a small community just north of Lexington. So 911 is very necessary. It's you know a lot about 911 already, what it's there for, what we're there to do. In the event of an emergency, of course, your personal emergency or a family emergency, an emergency you witness, you dial 911 and you reach dispatch, 911 communications and dispatch. Here in Lexington, 911 is now its own entity, its own organization within the city. So we dispatch for the police department and we dispatch for the fire department. Okay, so we've kind of drawn, we are our own department within the city, within city government, but we provide those services for the fire department and police department. So you call 911 with your emergency, and we'll get the appropriate responders out to you. We of course are open 24/7. We have to be there all the time. We have 3 shifts of personnel, always taking calls and dispatching. There are various roles within 911. We have positions that are called call takers, and all they do is take the calls. They will talk to you on the telephone, take your information. They enter it into a computer system for the dispatchers to see and dispatch out the appropriate responders. Okay. We are very busy. Lexington is a very busy 911 fire EMS community. I heard a siren just a few minutes ago, probably about 20 minutes ago go by probably out here on Broadway. But you'll hear sirens throughout the day because they're always going. In fact, last year, 911 answered 426,340 calls.
Wow.
Okay, so we split 911 and we do answer police and fire administrative lines. For instance, if you need to call the police department for a question, we actually answer that call and then we transfer that call to the appropriate office or answer that question if we can ourselves. So 911 calls themselves were 216,999. So 217,000 911 calls. That's an average. Total calls together is about an average call every 2 minutes across the year. So as I stated, we stay very busy. Daytimes are our busiest. It does drop off into the nighttime because most people are asleep. Not everybody is asleep.
No.
But in the night, that's often when we get if we get a phone call, or a 911 call, it's probably going to be a more serious event versus just maybe a sick case call. You may know also that if you call 911 for an ambulance in Lexington, you're actually going to get the Lexington Fire Department ambulances. They operate the 911 ambulances here in Lexington. So not only, you know, are they the fire department to put out fires, they also are the emergency ambulances that we dispatch for. Okay. When I'll let you tell me when is it appropriate, in what situations should you not call 911 for?
Heart attack.
Well, okay, yeah. Let's go there first. What should you call 911 for? Heart attack. Okay, we want you to call if you think you're having a heart attack. We want you to call 911. Maybe what are some other reasons to call 911?
Break in.
Fire, break in, right?
Shooting.
Yes, correct. Anything that is a threat, we call it a threat to life or a threat to property. Those are the reasons to call 911 for immediately. What are some things that maybe you shouldn't call 911 about?
Your pet getting.
Pet in a
Not
tree.
you.
Helicopters flying around for unknown reasons.
With the
Yeah.
lights out.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got the idea. What keeps us busy answering calls sometimes are the reasons why people often maybe shouldn't have called 911. They could have called maybe the police administrative line or maybe another service for their questions. But people call 911 for lots of different things. And yesterday I was answering some calls. Being in this for 13 years, I had two situations that I had never heard before. It was very interesting. We've had people call 911 because their employer did not pay them on time.
Oh.
Yeah? What?
Yeah. We've had someone call 911 because they went through the drive-through in the restaurant and they didn't get their order right.
Oh.
Yeah. Those aren't the right reasons to call 911, right? Power outages, if there's a power outage, we know about it immediately. We're going to get several calls, but we also have a website that we can go to and look and see where current KU power outages are. Okay, and we can access that. I mean, I can pull it up on my phone. You have access to that too, actually, as a consumer on the internet. But so you have the idea of when to call 911. And what I want to talk to you a little bit about too, not just 911, but a system we use called Smart 911. Okay, so if you think about a telephone, back when I was growing up, a telephone did one thing, right? You made a phone call. Okay, so now we have smartphones, and smartphones are basically a little computer that also happens to make a phone call, right? So you can look up lots of information on your smart device and you can make a phone call. So I kind of think of Smart 911 in a similar way. 911 is a service that you can call, right? When you call 911 from a regular phone, we see your phone number. And in most cases now, we see a location. We can see where you are now. And especially in the last 3 years, it's dramatically changed. We can see almost exactly where you are within a matter of feet if you have a compatible phone. Yes, ma'am.
What if you turned your location tracking off?
We can still see that. If you have an Apple device, Apple is allowing your location still to be seen by us at 911 in case of emergency. When you dial 911, okay, so if you turn it off to everybody else, we will still be able to see you because you've called 911. I know that is what Apple has agreed to. There are a couple other providers that in most cases they have agreed to do the same thing. but nobody else can see that. It's only when you dial 911 for that location service. Okay? Yes, sir.
Okay, do y'all have a service for prevention of suicide? Or that would be separate?
Now, that is separate. That is separate.
Is it
Now,
connected?
if we get a phone call for somebody contemplating that situation, we will send an ambulance out immediately to help. Okay? But there is a suicide hotline that you can call. And
Yeah.
also nationwide, they're proposing a service called 988 that you'll be hearing more about probably in coming months, in the next year or two. And that's more of a mental health immediate service, much like 911 is for medical fire emergencies. 988 will be for mental health emergencies.
Can I ask a couple other questions?
Yes.
First of all, is there a charge, like, let's say you needed to go to the hospital for something? Do you eventually get an ambulance bill?
In Lexington, yes. The fire department does send out bills, and in most cases, it's billed to the insurance.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
it's totally separate. That billing is handled through the fire department. But the fire department, when I say the fire department, Lexington Fire Department, they do issue some billing if there's a transportation to the hospital.
Right. Also, let's see, what if they have to break your door down? What do they do to keep your home safe?
Okay, so they
They
do
take you
have,
out.
right, these are great questions, yeah. Fire department carries insurance for that purpose. They already have contracted companies that will come up and repair, temporary repair and then permanent repair if they have to break in. We also send police so that they can take a damage report. And so you can have that for insurance purposes. So those things are already built in the
Do
day they
they
think
fix
about
it
and do that.
immediately, or do they let it stay open for a few
Oh, they
days?
don't let it stay open. They will secure the building or your home or whatever. If they have to break in, they will make sure it's secure before they leave.
Oh.
Absolutely.
And then also, if a person falls, I guess it's okay to call them.
It is, yes. If you have fallen or someone has fallen and they can't get up themselves, or if someone is with them, they can't lift, we do take those calls. So you can dial 911 for that. We'll send probably a fire engine company to come over and help lift you up.
And there's no
No charge for that. No charge for that. If there's any idea that you may be injured, if you think you're injured, let us know on that call, because we'll have to send an ambulance too. Okay, sir, yes, in the back.
Oh,
Charles, okay.
I was reading the article about the 988,
Uh-huh,
and they suggested that people that had the first three numbers of their telephone number to change that from 988, because I'll automatically go into the hotline.
the hotline, yes, that's a great point. Yeah, there's
Tell them to change.
there's some prefixes, I think, that they're identifying that are start with 988. But 988 is not yet active. It's going to be several months, maybe even a year or so before that is active. There's still a lot of work to be done on that. But in the event of a mental health crisis, please still do call 911 and let us know, because we want to get help to you right away. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, let's go in the
Okay.
Miss Sarah back here.
In the very back.
Yeah.
Now you can do like a little lock box with the combination to lock your house key up and put it on your doorpost.
Yes.
Wherever.
Mhm.
If that information were to be in your smart 911, do people put that information in smart 911?
Yes.
So that they don't have to break the door down, but they know where the key is?
Yes, that is possible. So I'm going to tell you more about Smart 911 in just a moment. But yes, that information can be in Smart 911, or you can call us at 911, the administrative line with 911. We can actually put that on an address record within our computer system. We call it a CAD, computer aided dispatch. We can put a note on your address records with that information as well, showing that there is a lockbox with a key, and we can have that code already in the system. But Smart 911 is a great place to include that. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm questioning relating back to when and when not to call 911.
Uh-huh.
This has been a few years back. I was headed to a bus stop. Get ready to go to work, catch the bus. And when I got to the bus stop, I seen this lady laying down, all covered up with blankets and had some of her belongings, this, that, and other. Was, you know, I tried to, you know, arouse her and didn't get no response. So, you know, I was scared.
Mhm.
You know, and of course the bus stop was covered, but it was
Right.
mist and rain, and the temperature was probably in mid-20s,
Right.
high 20s.
Uh-huh.
So she did finally come around, and she was kind of talking out of her head. And I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "I'm cold, I'm cold." And so immediately I dialed 911.
Right.
Well, the dispatcher that answered my call, I told her the situation and this, that, and other, and I told her she was up underneath the little awning of the bus stop, and you know, I said, "You know, it's cold out here," and the dispatcher responded, "Well, she probably got up underneath there, because she was cold."
Mhm.
And probably homeless.
Maybe
Yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah. No, you
And,
definitely did the right thing by calling to
She
let us know.
responded back, "I don't know why you called me."
Mm,
I
that's
mean, you know,
unfortunate.
I just wanted to, you know, go right to the meeting, to the dispatcher, and,
Yeah,
you know, jerk her throat out.
yeah. That's
I mean, that's
unfortunate.
not
I
right.
apologize. Yeah, case by case sometimes. It's hard to say what happened in that situation. It shouldn't have happened. I'm a trainer and manager, and I do address issues like that
Right.
sometimes. So do let us know if you've had a bad experience, and we'll address the
Well, I
situation.
think that was a bad experience
Yeah.
on her part, because she didn't have no consideration when she said, "Well, I don't know why you called me." And so I just
Yeah.
hung up.
Just because I'm concerned for her life, I mean,
Yeah.
is that
I hung
was
up
the
and
reason?
I called
Absolutely.
my supervisor at work, and I told him the situation, so I'm gonna be late or not in. And I stayed with that lady,
Oh,
and finally flagged down a local police officer, and he attended to her, and well, he called them. And after that, I don't know
yeah.
if they took
Wow.
her to
Well,
a shelter.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. That's
Well,
not the
You know,
typical
it's not,
experience.
I'm not blaming, you know, it's not your
Yeah.
fault, it's just whoever that dispatcher was, I should have reported that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, Maria.
I was just gonna say that you know, to understand that, not to excuse the situation, but you all are under immense pressure and it's constant. You know,
Yeah.
we think of, okay, that was one instance. Well, that may have been her 105th call that day. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know, to understand that. But the wonderful thing is that I know from number one that there is, you can say, if you're not satisfied with what you're having, you say, "Man, this is the supervisor."
Right.
And then, so you can go to
Exactly,
someone who's,
exactly.
and then,
Yes.
and
Great point.
then continue on. So
Yes. Yeah.
you have that.
Great
built-
point.
You have
Absolutely.
that, you have that built into your system,
Yeah.
and that's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
would-
So let me tell you a little bit more about Smart 911, and then we'll allow some time to sign up for that if you wish to do that.
I got a question, please.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And you have animals and you have emergency, you can't get out, you know, can't get off the floor, or you can't do nothing, with animals stop them going out if they come in. What do they do with the animals?
Now, if it's just you at home and there's animals and you're concerned about what to
How
do,
they getting out?
Lexington has animal care and control that can come and manage the animals for you. They can secure the home with the animals, or they have ways of taking care of those animals. So if there's this animal situation, we contact Animal Care and Control here in Lexington, which is connected to the Humane Society. And they will come and take care of the animals at that point. So, okay. So real quick, I was talking about the smartphone and the phone, and then you have 911 for emergencies and Smart 911. Smart 911 is a way for you to include any additional information beyond just your phone number and the location you may be calling from. Okay. It's a system where you can put in your home address. You can put in, if you want to include your age in a medical emergency, date of birth, age, is important, but you have the option to include that or not. You can include things like your medical history, physical impairments that you want responders to know about. You can include a list of medications that you want responders to know about. You can list family members. You can even list pets and what type of pets that you have so that responders know that there are pets in the home. Every person and every pet can have a picture. If you want to put a photo of yourself on there or photos of your pets. You can also include your vehicles that you have, because if responders arrive and they know what vehicles you own and operate, and those vehicles are not present at home, that might help them with some information. I'm like, well, this person may not even be home, or the car is here, but no one is answering the door. That could be an emergency situation, okay? So Smart 911 is designed to do that, is to give us additional information. When you dial 911 and you have a Smart 911 account, the information pops up on a screen, and we see all of the information that you've included on that account. We only have access to that information for 20 minutes, okay, from the time that you call. That's within the 911 center. We have 20 minutes to access that information. We've passed that information along to responders there's a ticket number that's issued. Okay, when you call in, we give that ticket number to the responders. They have an app on their computers in their trucks that they can go to, enter in that ticket number, and it pulls up your profile of information. That's how they get that. They also have limited access to that information. They have access to that information up to an hour from your time of call. So they have it a little bit longer because they're going to be on scene a little bit longer with that information. So yes, sir.
Okay, I have a telephone that's more than me. I cannot access 911 because I don't know where the numbers are at.
Okay.
So what can you do about that?
Depending on the phone, there is an optional way to call 911. On an Apple phone, the button on the side, if you press 5 times, that will a slide. There'll be a power off slide that comes up, or there's a 911 slide that comes up.
Yeah.
So if that's helpful, then that's an option too.
It's
Instead
on
of
the
trying to find 911 to dial, one of the buttons, depending on the device and how that device operates. So you might want to check with your phone provider, your service provider, or the company that made the phone. There are other ways of accessing 911 emergency other than dialing it on the phone. Okay. So the web address for Smart 911 is smart911.com. So you just go to www.smart911.com and you can register an account there. Now it's completely optional. It's free to citizens. We as 911 pay a subscription service to provide that to you, but to sign up for that, it's free. Okay. So there's some information I have left up here on the desk that where we checked in. If you're welcome to that information. I'll be around for a little while longer to assist if anybody wants to be registered. I can help you get set up on that. Okay. Was there another question?
Hey, Chuck, what you were just talking about doing that, the other way to do that, when I first got my new smartphone, my new one, I did that and I did it twice by accident.
Okay.
And I said, no, I'm not injured, I'm not hurt. I don't
Okay.
need anything.
Yeah. Good point. If that happens, if your phone accidentally dials 911, I want to ask that you stay on the line. Don't go ahead if you go ahead and hang up, we're going to call you back anyway. The moment that you send, we're going to get the call. Even if you try to stop it real quick, we're still going to get that call to come through. So we'll either call you back, or if you stay on the line and just say, I'm sorry, Mike, I'm sorry, I accidentally dialed, then that actually saves us time just to stay on the line and let us know that. Yes, sir, Charles.
I accidentally did that one time. They called me back real quick and I said, I accidentally dialed.
Yes. Yeah, that might have been me calling you back. No, we all do. We all do. Well, yes, sir.
I got
Charles.
one other question. I know a person that has a combination lock on his door. Should he have that registered with 911?
Combinate,
The keypad.
he should register that with 911 so that the responders can gain access. You can do that in smart911.com, or if you call the 911 administration line, we can also get that added in our computer system.
I'll
To do that.
check with the lady that stays with him or cooks his food and stuff, see if he has it. registered.
Okay, all right, very
And
good.
I know he lives above me, and he had this combination put on the door for people not to come in, but it was set up really for a burglar alarm, and it was really sensitive when the cats walked around.
Ah, I see, okay, all right.
Okay, we've got
Okay.
a couple of questions I want to ask everybody now. Let us thank our speaker. Wonderful. It's great to have you, and it's very interesting. Well, okay, now we got a couple of questions. We need to do this to evaluate our program. No, we're not evaluating the speaker. Don't put him on the spot. But raise your hand if you learned something new today, and that includes everybody, volunteers and staff and everybody. Raise your hand so we can take account. If you
Raise your
learned
hand,
anything new today?
Oh,
You didn't learn anything today? Oh.
Okay, and second question, was anything you learned today helpful to you or your family? Raise your hand, please.
yeah.
Everybody. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Bree. Okay, now, I don't know where the iPads went, but we had iPads up here. To help people sign up. So if you want to sign up for Smart 11, now is your chance to do that. And, you can just access the form. So we've got 2 volunteers plus Chuck. That's 3 people who got good eyesight and they can help you get online if you want to sign up for it. Smart911.com. So let me get those iPads.
You can,
Find out where they
yes.
are.
And yeah, we're here to help too, as Susan has said. Up here on the desk, I've placed an information, a couple